Hi, this is Jerry. I've got a question for you. There are many people that move through life reacting to the circumstances that they're under without stopping to consider the direction of their choices. However, wise people do something different. They carefully examine their path before they continue. So the question is, where is the path you're on actually leading you? Welcome to Proverbs 14:8. This proverb teaches that prudence is the ability to understand your course in life, while foolishness blinds people through self-deception. Now, what this really means is, the verse says, the wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way. Now, a prudent person is thoughtful, they're careful, they're discerning. They do not act impulsively. They stop and evaluate. They stop to think where they are going, why they are going there, what consequences may follow their decision, and whether their path aligns with God's truth. Now, in the verse it says, understand his way. It really means to examine your direction and make sure that your steps are leading towards a good and a godly destination. But the second part of this verse says, but the folly of fools is deceit. You see, foolish people are often deceived by their own thinking. What I mean by that, they might ignore warning signs. They try and justify poor choices that they've made in life. They behave with convenient lies to cover their mistakes. They pretend that consequences will come no matter what. And they mislead themselves and others. Their greatest danger is not merely ignorance, but self-deception. You see, wisdom requires honest self-examination. A prudent person will ask themselves, where is this path that I'm on taking me? Now, the fool, on the other hand, assumes that everything's fine, even when heading towards trouble. Now, this really makes a difference, and it really matters. Every decision places you on a path, and your path affects your life. It reflects your relationships with other people, certainly reflects your finances. It affects your spiritual life, your health, even your future. So small choices repeated over and over in time determine where you're ultimately going to arrive in life. Now, there's wisdom about knowing the direction that you're on. In Proverbs 4:26, it says, ponder the path of your feet. See where you're going. In the book of Lamentation, if you're a Bible reader at all, in 3:40 it says, let us examine our ways and return to the Lord. And in the New Testament, the epistle of James 1:22 urges believers to be doers of the word, not just merely hearers. God invites us to think carefully about the direction of our life. Now, there's practical applications to following what this verse is talking about. You should really ask yourself where, and whenever you're doing something, where are my current habits leading me? And what consequences may result from the decision you're about to make? Am I being honest with myself? Does God have this path aligned, or does this path align with God's wisdom for your life? And really, what needs to change in your life today? Now, there's benefits if you follow this verse. When you understand your ways and where you're going, you make wiser decisions in life. You avoid unnecessary mistakes. You gain clarity and confidence in what you're doing. Your character is strengthened because your feet seem to be planted firmly on the ground. You have direction in your life. Your future becomes more purposeful. Through living, it leads to fruitful living, or thoughtful living leads to fruitful living. Now, there's pitfalls if you ignore this. If you don't stop to examine what you're doing, you may drift into harmful patterns. Warning signs are overlooked. Self-deception increases. Consequences become more severe. Opportunities for correction are missed. You see, the wrong road often begins with unexamined steps that you're about to take. Let me give you some words of wisdom here. Life is not shaped by intentions alone, but by the proper direction. A wise person pauses often to make sure that their steps are leading to tomorrow's desired destination. When we look over Proverbs 14:8, it reminds us that prudence means to understanding the road that we're on and the road that we're traveling. Examine your path honestly, correct your course when needed, and walk deliberately in God's wisdom. You see, when you understand your ways, your choices gain purpose, your steps gain clarity, and your future reflects the wisdom of God. Now, this verse will be on the screen. Read it out loud if you can. Have a great day.